Waste oil is a free fuel for the places that produce the waste oil. It burns clean as far as you stand it outside the building. You can't tell that chimney from a natural gas chimney because there's no smoke involved. It's just a very clean burning process that we use. The little bit of ash we get out of this furnace that needs to be done roughly once a year is nothing but maybe a 5 or 10 gallon bucket of ash.
Before we purchased our first unit, we wanted to verify with the Ministry of the Environment that these units were clean. They were not only clean and environmentally sound units, they virtually burned as cleanly as an oil furnace, a high efficiency oil furnace that you'd use in your home. When these units are operating, you cannot see from the outside whether they're looking at the smokestack, whether they're burning or not. There's zero refuse, there's zero visible solids coming from the furnace. They're extremely clean, they're extremely efficient, they put out huge amounts of heat.
One of the things about the clean burn furnace that's really nice is the guys in the shop can have a lot of heat, and it can be very comfortable for the guys in the shop during the wintertime. In this climate, we're in Hamilton, Ontario, and so it's easily going to get down to 10 degrees below zero on an average. And with the clean burn system, we boost the heat nice and hot. It runs all night. The guys come in the morning and their tools are warm. It's a good system, and it's nice to be able to make the shop nice and warm for the guys.
You would find a number of things that set us apart. For example, the 1750 and the 2500. These are a longer type of a furnace with a combustion chamber and a flue system. And so you end up with that much more hot metal that is going through the hot gas and stuff that will allow the blower to take that hot air back out into the shop. If you take some of the other products that are out there, they will have one long combustion chamber, and typically it's called a blast tube. And at one end you got the burner, and as it goes through, it exits out through the chimney, and whatever they blow off in terms of heat to the facility is only coming off the combustion chamber, not all the hot metal that's on the flue system. So just from that perspective alone, the volume or the amount of hot air that's being discharged is so much more. So in other words, if you're spending so much money to have that oil put through your system, you'd want to be able to get as much hot air out into your system as you could.
I have about 13 mechanics that work for me here, and every one of them absolutely love that machine. Like, it's clean, you can hardly even hear it running. If I actually put a truck right underneath the clean burn machine and I'm blowing heat, that mechanic actually has to take his coveralls off, because it's like it being in the Bahamas. That's how much heat this machine puts out when you're right underneath of it.
We use the clean burn boilers year round here. We're always heating water for the wash bays. So when the building doesn't need heat, our wash bays need hot water continuously. And we've logged pretty close to 12,000 hours on each boiler, which works out to over 200,000 liters of oil that we've consumed through here. Very little maintenance. We've been very happy. We clean them about every 1,000 hours, sweep the chimneys a couple times a year, as you know, clean our suction screens, and it's just been good year round.
We have somewhere in the range of 30 units in the company. Mostly they're in our shop operations. A couple of our warehouse operations are heated with the waste oil furnaces as well, and we use them as unit heaters. They're mounted above the cranes, and they draw up oil from tanks down at ground level and heat the shop at the top. So really it's just a replacement for a natural gas unit heater.
An interesting story was a couple of years ago here. The government agency, Alberta Environment, came and checked us out. They kind of blanketed the area, all the other businesses, and they asked people where they were taking their used oil. And a lot of them were telling them that they're taking it to Bigfoot because they burn it. So they raced down here thinking they were going to see a chimney belching out black sooty smoke. And when they come in here, they were quite intrigued and impressed that it was this clean. You know, the dirtiest thing that happens in this room is dust.
No, it's just and it's clean. It's a clean burn. You know, you look at the stack in the morning when you come to work, and it's clean. It's not black and belching out black smoke like our neighbors did one day. So, not a clean burn system.
Shop guys love it because they don't have to wear as much clothes. The road guys hate it because they have to take clothes off when they come inside. It's a give and take, but we're allowed to do it because we have to get rid of the oil. Like the oil becomes an easy source of energy when we get rid of the oil.